Thank you, counsel. I guess I get back to where I kind of started, and all this description, these are all sorts of legal issues. You don't have anything more to say on the facts, right? It was an inadvertent mistake. I don't see how you can say anything more. We've had a broad range of discussion on the legal issues. Now, it's very helpful for us to have lower court decisions on those, and maybe that's reason enough. But again, I guess I don't quite understand what sending it back would be for, other than airing of the same sort of issues that we've been airing this morning.
Well, I'm not going to resist too hard you deciding this on a more substantive ground that gives my client sort of relief that's more enduring at this stage. But I will say that another one of these like great common law cases is the Street Commissioners of Hagerstown, which happens to be the case that Black's Law uses for its definition of cause. And one of the things it specifically says there is, like, even if you don't think the due process, the notice in a hearing, is going to amount to much, it's still an error not to give it, and we're still going to essentially not allow this removal to happen because there wasn't notice and an opportunity for a hearing.
So it may not be an error to go through the process of your client coming in and say it was an inadvertent mistake. Since it was inadvertent, I don't have much more to add to that. And the argument on the other side being what the president said, well, I think this is a serious enough mistake, and so that's why I'm removing her.
Again, there's only so much I can say to resist the idea that, we think this was at most an inadvertent mistake. We would have liked a more, a sort of opportunity to do that and present our actual evidence, which would have substantiated that. But we also think at the end of the day, inadvertent mistake isn't like very close to for cause, particularly when you understand the unique nature of this institution.
What is your actual evidence that would substantiate the fact that it was an inadvertent mistake?
I think the fact that there's an attachment to one of the applications that describes it as a vacation home.
Well,
and that's not.
We've got that too.
I understand, but the president didn't. And it seems to me that usually when there's a procedural omission, one doesn't say, well, at this point we got everything we need, so forget the procedural omission. I mean, again, I'm not really going to resist that, especially if you're going to, say you're with me on the substance. But it does seem to me if you want to reserve judgment on the substance or you want more briefing on the substance, you could say, and this is whether it was constitutional due process or statutory due process, I think this is the gist of the D.C. Circuit's decision, is like at a minimum you didn't get the process you were supposed to